This is Topline Hotline with your hosts AJ Bruno, Asif Zaman, and me, Sam Jacobs, where we answer questions from the go-to-market community every week. Amazing top line, oh hotline in your face.
So appropriate.
That answered a GTM question for me. I once didn't know if outbound was dead, but then someone on LinkedIn had an opinion. Welcome to Topline Hotline, where we answer your burning questions from the go-to-market community. I'm joined by AJ Bruno and Asid Zaman. I'm Sam Jacobs. Thank you, everybody. Asid, what's our question for today?
Okay, so this is a long one, but it's from the depths of the Pavilion slant. So the question is, I started a new role as the SVP of Sales and Account Management at my current company on Jan 1st. We do 60 million in ARR and are owned by private equity. Given that we just had turned the page on our fiscal year, the targets, goals, metrics, etc. for the year had been crafted and set by the outgoing leader and my current CFO, CEO, and VP of Marketing. One of those targets was to shift from 90% inbound marketing to 50% inbound, 50% outbound. The context here is that they had only hired a BDR manager and a team in December, and the majority of the sales team has tenure at the company of 4+ years, meaning they did not have any background or training in prospecting or hunting. As you can guess, we've yet to hit anywhere close to the 50% opportunities coming for outbound this year. It has shown an improvement going from practically zero last year to 25% year to date. My opinion is that building strong outbound in 2024 takes significant investments in both time, training, technology, and highly customized, targeted persona-based messaging. In short, my planned feedback to the board and the CEO is that asking our company to shift from almost 100% inbound to 50-50 outbound split model overnight was a near impossible ask given the limited resources and investment made to support this. Essentially, the model was wrong. Am I wrong in my assumption, or is this possible to make a pivot like this, and perhaps the problem lies elsewhere, i.e. execution would appreciate the collective wisdom of the group? AJ, how does this make you feel?
I'm impressed they got to 25%. Like, how did they
Right?
do that?
I was
Like,
impressed with that.
Yeah.
So it makes me feel like we're still living in crazy town world where people don't understand what's actually happening and what's actually achievable. So sorry that you're dealing with that with your PE. My take is keep digging. You're doing the right thing. Keep communicating what you're doing and how you're doing it. And I don't know what to tell you about the targets. That was messed up.
Sam,
Yes, Asid.
when you think about this question, one of the things that it makes me wonder is there's so many times that companies get hurt by going through planning season with an executive that actually doesn't stick around, and maybe when they were in planning season, and this is not just for CROs, it could be for CMO, it could be for the CEO. They half in, half out. That happens a lot. So in that instance where this person takes over, how much leverage do you think they have to go back to the board and the CEO and say, I'm sorry, what you guys planned is just ridiculous. Like, is this a winnable fight for this person?
They got to do it soon.
Yeah, 6 months in, right?
I think the 6 months is a little late.
Yeah.
It's a winnable fight, but you got to do it quickly when you get there. And the whole 30, 60, 90, whatever your plan is, your plan has to be, hey, like the first thing you say has to be, I do not accept your plan.
Yeah.
You know, like, no offense, but like I got to build my own plan because now maybe the person needed the job and, I mean, who knows what the circumstances are. I think it's winnable. I mean,
do you think they flagged it? I mean, I hope they flagged it like early, right?
He was in the company, so he already knew. But
I think it's I guess I would also want to understand like the broader, like the percent of inbound versus outbound is sort of an obscure, like it's an arcane goal. Revenue is the goal.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe it's like, well, outbound is higher deal size and we're trying to get our deal size up, or we need outbound to show that enterprise is a segment as opposed to
inbound
SMB.
is just going down. Like,
Right. So like, is the broader context they're missing the number? If they're hitting the number, so anyway, to answer the specific question, outbound's quite hard. I mean, doing anything well, any new motion is hard. You haven't done it before. It's going to take a lot of experimentation. You have to be committed to it. You have to define what it means. I mean, I had a conversation internally where it was like, well, we tried outbound. It's like, well, what does outbound mean? Well, we sent an email. Okay, well, to some people, outbound is 4 calls over 14 days, LinkedIn connection requests, followed by email, doing the double tap, leaving a voicemail, then sending an email. That's most of the time what outbound means. Not like, well, I emailed the person that hadn't emailed me before. Sure, that's one part of it. There's a lot more to it. So I think defining, at any rate, it's a hard thing to do. And to say that they're going to change their mix to 50-50 from 0 is a little ridiculous. And to AJ's point, 25% sounds pretty good to me.
I've got the answer. They should outsource their SDR.
That's it. That's it. Has anybody done that before? I wonder if there's any firms that outsource SDRs. That's a question for the next Top Line Hotline.
So that made sense. That I think the biggest takeaway is this person was too slow. Like when you're going into a role, like you need to be thinking about plan up front, because the assumption there for the board or the CEO is going to be that you probably thought this was realistic because you didn't say anything for the first 3 months. Now it's not working and you're saying it's not realistic. Like that's actually not a nice conversation to have. Whereas when you're taking the role, you're like, can we just do a bottoms up first principles based approach and say what's realistic, what's not? And you would probably have more space to do that then versus now. AJ, just as a follow-up to this, when you have one of your executives come to you with a new initiative related to a new channel, let's say somebody comes and says, AJ, we need to create channel partnerships, so we need to go into Europe or something. What are you looking to see in that initial proposal? What does a good proposal look like to you?
Starting small, experiments and starting small, and just truly understanding what are the incremental value that you're going to get every day, and not going and trying to tackle the world. So it's just really clear guidelines, articulating what you're going to do, and then let's just like talk and meet about it on a weekly basis to see how we're doing. Anything we do today can't be like this massive giant thing. Like HubSpot is a good example where we've just started small, incremental value every single day, and we just communicate in a stand-up. Graham and I talk about it every day of what we're going to do. Okay, we have inbound coming up. We have this strategic initiative with them. We're working with them in this way. What are we doing for all those channels? That's it.
Brilliant. I was listening to Mark Roberge interviewing the SVP of sales at Klaviyo this morning, and they were talking about how Klaviyo went from one product to multi-product. And the idea there is that any multi-billion-dollar business usually is multi-product, but how do you actually create momentum in the multi-product approach? And a company that had 500 salespeople started with 2 salespeople and a cross-functional team, including product, coming up with a bunch of these experiments, meeting twice a week, and just working very, very closely to get that initial traction in terms of messaging, cadence, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Once they had it, then they moved over to now getting more of the reps onboarded.
And here's the important part,
that
Austin. Don't broadly communicate this. Don't tell the board you're going to go do this. Do it really, really small scale, so that when you do communicate it, that you actually have the plan and like you see the numbers. Yeah, that's brilliant. I share that.
And the way that they comped those reps was that they didn't take the 2 best reps. They took the smartest high performers who were very entrepreneurial. They put them on this. They gave them a draw, which was less than their W-2 from the previous year, but was probably 80% of their on-target income essentially confirmed, because they didn't know would this like break our comp plan in a good or bad way. And so they did that. They got the results and they moved forward. Now they've effectively done this with 4 product lines, which has made them a $700 million business. It's a good episode. People should listen to it. That's it.
Thanks for listening to Top Line Hotline, everybody. Make sure you open the Top Line newsletter, which comes out on Thursdays, that Asad is the editor-in-chief of. Make sure you buy some sales commission planning software. It's the most adaptable on the market through QuotaPath. Hire your next group of reps through Sales Talent Agency. And attend GTM 2024 in Austin, Texas, October 14th through 16th. All of us will be there. We'll be doing a live Top Line recording. Benedict Evans will be there. You will have good internet. The F1 is in town that week. Texas is playing Georgia. It's going to be, if you haven't gotten your hotel, it's going to be the most important week of the year for you personally, dear listener. And if you're not there, what you're doing is giving up on your life, and it's sad. I
You're not
wish more
taking
for
life
you.
seriously.
I hope more from you. Maybe you need a silent retreat. Go think about what you've done and how you need to be better. Debug yourself so that you can be in Austin October 14th through 16th. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.